Twitter in Toronto was ablaze last night with this crazy rumor. I laughed at it when I first saw it. I got inquiries from my sources in Italy and over here, and I said, there's no way in the world a coach that's sitting in a playoff position you're going to replace. There's no way you can do that. Let's talk about it. I mean, this is a crazy rumor. I don't see this happening at all, especially in the coaching department, but maybe as a president. Your thoughts, Rudi?
Well, I just want to just wanted to point out that there is a team that has replaced a coach in a playoff position before, and it happens to be Toronto FC. Last year, of course, we saw Ryan Nelson get shown the door, and Greg Vanney put his place. But that was a lot more of backroom politics, and Nelson and Bezbachenko not really getting along and not seeing eye to eye in the vision of the club, rather than a performance-based thing. So. I tend to agree with you that there's really nothing to this rumor in regards to the head coaching job, but it's well known around these parts, of course, that TFC has been looking for a president, and the names don't get much bigger than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, played for Manchester United. Now he's moved on to his coaching career as well. But he's a guy who soccer fans all over the world know and would obviously be familiar with his work on the playing side. Of course, on the managerial side, he hasn't been as successful, so it's a little bit iffy, and if it is even true to begin with. But this is kind of the silly season, not just for players but also for management as well. So I think TFC's kind of become that club now where all these crazy rumors, they kind of become attached to TFC alongside the other bigger clubs in MLS.
Now, Solskjaer, the last place he coached, if I'm not mistaken, was Cardiff, and he got the axe there. But going back to your point is correct. I forget, Nelson was in a playoff position, but we knew that they were sinking, and they were sinking fast. Things weren't going well, even at that time when he got the axe, and we know what happened. They didn't make the playoffs. But to me, Rudi, I'd like to ask you this. I don't understand why you would change up things right now when there's a lot of positives, and there's some injuries that, Greg Vanney can't be held accountable for. And I think that this is the first time that, the club is at ease, and there's some people that are really starting to understand what the club wants to do, whether it's on the field or off the field. Why throw everything up in a whirlwind now?
Well, I both don't believe that it's going to happen anyway, but the possibility always exists, especially with a club that loves to kind of feed off turmoil the way TFC has in the past. I don't think that's the direction they're looking at right now. I do actually think that this is the very first time in TFC's existence that everyone's pulling in the same direction. Greg Vanney, Tim Bezbachenko, Tim Leiweke, all the way up. They're all kind of pulling in the same direction now, whereas before you had guys who had ideas about this and ideas about that. Everybody wanted the best for the club, but they all had different ideas of how to get there. I think now everyone's on the same page and everyone's kind of pulling the same weight and kind of that kind of thing. And if you look at the not only the standings, or TFC's kind of middling there, but if you look at the schedule ahead, things aren't that bad. TFC's had a very, very hard schedule up to this point. They've played most of their road games now. They've only got 4 road games left, and 10 of the last 14 are at home, where they obviously are a lot better. Everything looks very, very rosy if you kind of take a deeper look into the numbers and everything that's coming up in the near future. So, yeah, I think it would be absolutely insane to even entertain the idea of replacing Greg Vanney right now. But, hey, we've seen insanity before, so I can never, ever truly 100% rule it out.
You're bang on. If anything does happen, I believe it'll happen after the season's done with a new president and a new coach. I just don't think anything's going to happen right now. If I'm not mistaken, I think Tim Leiweke is still going to be on for a few more months, or at least till the end of the year. I think they've extended that with him, and he has accepted it. I'm not sure, but I think that's what I heard a few weeks ago, and that to me is a good sign. At least they can settle in till they find the right person. But very quickly, Rudi, before we let you go, look, I followed Greg Vanney from League One team last year. I enjoy his demeanor. I enjoy his honesty. I enjoy his style. And sure, he's going to make mistakes at the senior level with TFC as he's made this year, but he's also made some good moves. To me, I think this is the guy that can get the job done this year to get them into the playoffs. But then let's be honest, if TFC really wants to get to the elite level and stay there like DC, like Houston, Seattle, and others, I think they might have to eventually look for a coach that really tailors the type of players they have, a Bradley, a Jovinko, on and on. And they might have to look at someone overseas. Your thoughts?
Well, that's a possibility. I do think that overseas managers don't tend to do as well as domestic managers, mostly American, of course, we're talking about now in MLS, but guys who have been around MLS kind of a long time, 10, 15 years as a player, and then they they transitioned to the coaching ranks for the youth and all the way up, just the way Vanney did. I mean, you mentioned DC United. There's a guy, of course, coaching there who's an MLS lifer, and Ben Olsen. He's been with DC United since the very beginning, I believe, as a player and now as a coach. And he had some very, very big struggles. They were the worst team in the league in 2013. I think they were historically the worst team. Maybe not quite the level of Chivas when they first came in, but they were very, very close. And now look what he's done with them over the past couple of years. So I do think that Toronto is looking to kind of mold a coach in that kind of system as well. I do think that they feel that the most successful MLS coaches are guys who have been around MLS a lot, and that doesn't rule out anyone from overseas. But I do think that if they were going to do that, they start him slowly as well. Maybe bring a younger guy, maybe even a guy like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and start him off slow and have him with a mentor. And that would mean getting an older manager next to him and have a mentor. I don't know, but I do think that the ultimate success over the past few years, or actually over the entire course of MLS, has really been the manager who's grown up the league. If you look at Bruce Arena, this guy's been around forever. And these are the guys, MLS in and out. And now the younger generation, the Greg Vanney, Jason Christ, the Ben Olsens of the world, they're the ones who are next. Now, some of them are going to fail, some of them aren't. But I do think that they're looking at Greg Vanney as a long-term project.